Place your bets at gg.bet. Most popular esports titles. Deposit with convenient payment options. Cool mini games. And 24/7 support for players. Sign up now for the best esports bets at gg.bet.
Welcome everyone to Star Letter. My name is Sesh. It's time for the Season 6 qualifiers of the European Union. Well, CIS is included into that, so we're going to watch EPG fight Windigo, a battle which should be, in my opinion, very one-sided from start on. And to just elaborate real quick why that is going to be the case probably, EPG has changed their roster quite a bit so far. I mean, we used to have that core of Lion as well as Hooch for a very, very long time, and especially Hooch is the kind of guy who's the brain behind EPG for a long time. But on the other hand, changing 3 players so instantly and not playing with them too long, I mean, for example, Torik is one of the new additions to the team, it seems like that might backfire massively, whilst Windigo have done the very same procedure by just changing one of their players. And it could just make that change on the one hand in a negative way, like where you feel, okay, we have just a very new setup, we need to adapt to it, we need to accept it, we need to go that far, or possibly on the other hand say, yeah, well, that's the honeymoon phase, now we're really here to rock, now we're here to show what we're able to do, and that is very, very much possible that we're just going to notice that's being the case. And so we're just going to first of all watch Mirage, which is a map I'm quite excited to see on the one hand, because it always allows us to see so much great and awesome aggression and individual kind of skill coming through, as with other maps like Nuke, for example, or Train, you need to be on a different tactical level to really somehow prevail against your opponent, right? You can't run around puggy and think, hey, I'm finding that guy, I'm finding that guy. That's not how it works on maps like Nuke, for example, but it can work on Mirage with very simple executions in the end, working out for the team. And when we take a look, I mean, for example, on Windigo, with playing Mirage, it works out quite well for them. I mean, that core roster of 4 players have played this map 18 times in the past 3 months. And of those 18 times, they just picked up 11 victories, and that partially with ease. I mean, they're a tiny little bit better on the CT side. It's around 10 percentage points, and you can see that there will be a difference, except EPG will have no idea how to play. But in general, EPG might have a major problem how to play, because the issue that's going to be the case here with the team is that it's Mirage and it's an experienced opponent, whilst on the other hand, EPG with that roster have not even won this map once so far. So I believe that it might not go well for EPG, that we might see a 2-0 for Windigo, though they have done those roster changes for a good reason, that they have done as much as they could to, for example, qualify for the European closed minor, to get for the closed qualifier of the European minor, which they didn't, surprisingly. I mean, they lost against 3D Max, which was kind of odd, though it seemed like they could easily get through, but it was Windigo somehow struggling massively. And maybe internally, they have now done their changes. They're now in the right set. They're going in the right direction. And I know the team is very dedicated. Also, the coach behind it, to Hayo. And I probably said his name horribly wrong. Probably it's Tohio or Toheo or something like that. I don't know. He's very eager to get that team running and going, which makes him a very outstanding personality for his team. I mean, it's very nice to see that those Southeast European teams stick together for such a long time. But I don't know. We're going to see. I think it's a 2-0 for Windigo. I'm going to call it 2-0 for Windigo. And the good thing is, we can re-chat sometime here, so whatever bad thing you say about me or any of the teams, I will be able to expose you, tell you to stop, and get you. Do you remember the show Catch a Predator? To Catch a Predator, I think it's called, where there's a guy who's acting like he's an underage girl in like online chat rooms, and then they're catching the predator, you're catching the molester kind of guy. I don't know, it's something American, I guess. Either way, we're starting up, and enough with the shows and everything like that. We're directly hopping in between Elements Pro Gaming and Windigo, live here at the StarLetter CSEN1. That's such a long name on that channel, and we're starting with the qualifier for the European Union. Who are you? A legit question. I'm Zesht. I'm just talking through games, you know, just no one was on the server yet, so I thought, why not talk to you? Give you a little bit of an insight. First of all, the stabbing starts. And that new roster, by the way, of EPG, it has to be mentioned, is quite interesting to see. First of all, it's Blocker and Malik, both a right click away from dying. Blocker can secure themselves at least a tiny victory from start on. And therefore, EPG switching over to the T side, or more likely forced to switch over to the T side. So let's talk about that lineup. Malik, Travel, and Voidex being the three individuals who now freshly joined. And officially, Malik is still a part of Forza, for example. Travel is not part of any team, but used to be, for example, part of, well, a team like Hollywood, a team like Espada, or Spirit Academy. And then finally we have Voidex, Sergey Dronin, that's his name, and he's actually part of the team 5 Balls. So it is a little bit confusing, I would say. How old is this caster? 21. Promise me. And that promise I can give you, but either way, first of all, ships. And that Nate directly in his face, the one without any armor on his chest, is going to have a harder time. Whilst the bomb is making a totally different approach, we see 4 players of the Bulgarian side have now made the move over to CT. Quite cautious they are, but interestingly enough, EPG are not abusing that. They're patiently waiting this out, and Malik at the same time, he sees that Blocker is just waiting behind the site. This gives a bit of information. But Hujiko, the approach towards the B side, where Blocker now has the information, should make it possible for the Bulgarian side. Blocker hitting another. Voidex has now been spotted. He's giving them a hard time. Therefore, he moves away, and suddenly it's a man equalized situation where the bomb still needs to go back on that site. Which means Hooch's making that. Going, wiggling left and right. Can't find himself a victor mid-air. Maybe possibly other player. Bubble, peeking wide, could find himself. Hooch needs to do so. Body shot away from dying, and Voidex to be the final one. The kid is there, and that's the first thing he's going to pick up. He bought himself some time, goes for that smoke, and now Voidex, what are they going to deliver us? Because Bubble's pulling through, and you need to find Bubble. He's coming in. 1 second. He got it. Yes, he got it. Way too tight. And Bubble even tapping away Voidex. Jesus Christ. What a start of that best of 3. Who would have expected that? And with Bubble now taking an aggression towards middle, he might be punished for that as we see the P250s are coming in. There's 1, there's 2. Yeah, okay, a few free frags here and there. With Malik trying to do some underpass work. Windigo very happy to lose not a single player at that point in time, because that would be quite unfortunate. And that's correct. The logo on the top is not 100% correct. They will be changed soon. The guys of Starletter are making that work. And if EPG getting that first bomb plant in that very early round, it logically helps the team out so much, as in number 3, they're able to pick up those AKs. Now put up a big show, because all ships and co. They're a little bit of a struggle. This could be called the bonus round. Javelin coming from behind, and there the flank works out in the end. Bubble has the information on Voidex. Timing in favor of Bubble somehow. It looked so goddamn dangerous. He should have been dead there anytime, and now Bubble has the information at Voidex. It's just so goddamn nearby. It's the first, can't hit the second, and Victor has a low HP line just up ahead. Single body shot, that player's out. He's finding him. Hooch is now coming from the left of the smoke. He should have been spotted, but nope, the spray's not working. And why in God's name is the music kit on? I have never. No. Why would you do this? I've turned this off in my settings. Update comes in. And then this. Huh? Are you serious, Wolf? All I want to do is cast. Then it's a goddamn music kit. Playing some loud rock deep in my ears. Painful. Either way, EPG losing their first here, but only losing a few players there in the previous round. Still made it possible to get the round done. Voidex gets himself Victor Malik with Bubble, and suddenly that very fast aggression towards the B side turned out to be working quite well for the moment. And there now needs to be the decision, and it seems to be already decided. Windigo retreating, keeping those guns. Victor and Bubble are that, so let those guys carry around something like a Eagle, possibly. I was never very good at maths, to be very honest. Some of that calculation, let's read that up. God, let's read that up. Because, you know, I always try to understand money in Counter-Strike, but I never 100% did. But, yeah, okay, there we go. So, the losing team receives, after the second round, 1,900, which means, ding, 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 my mathematics went right. He had 0, he had $50, which means, yeah, those drops are coming in. Victor getting nothing. A UMP, something to work with. At least a tiny submachine gun. That does get it done. So all the action is being held in middle. Players dying left, right, and center. Suddenly, it's Voidex trying to go with his teammates down there in middle, and that's going to give Travel as well as Hooch quite a hard time. My question is, where are they going to travel to? If you kind of get the joke. I'm trying very hard, to be very honest. I think comedy was never really my thing, but that's why I turned up to be a caster, right? Because being funny in a foreign language is harder than you expect. Either way, Ships and Co. having a very advantageous situation, though Bubble as well as Blocker are not looking that great HP-wise. So they're rather taking that approach for the window. From then on, you have two decisions. You could take the risk to go over to the kitchen. You could hit the moment of surprise while Bubbles is not looking. But also the same path. The safe path to take. That's going to be the A site. And Ships, as well as Bubble, to be very cautious about it, because Bubble might hit the wrong timing. As he does. Now it needs to be Ships very patiently. Smoke that it didn't expect to lay in that way. Oh, Ships? You could have just sprayed through instead. He rather denied it. He actually found Hooch, my bad, but now it's going to be only down to Travel. The bomb is going to help the economy in that situation they're at right now for the follow-up, but Travel can still change and turn this around because Blocker is not looking, and Victor needs to come by. He sees him, and he finds him in the end. A tight one, once more. And Hooch calling for a pause. Someone needs to download a proper client because 3.1 is only 10 minutes. What the hell is that even supposed to mean? What the hell are they doing? What is that supposed to be again? When I can't recommend Place TV, it doesn't work for me. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but Place is not my place to be. I need seriously to stop with those very horrible puns. And imagine this sound from Victor. It sounds always like a cookie cracking, you know, when you just take a piece of the cookie. Hey mom, do we still have a cookie left? Sure. Here, take a half. Okay, Victor, that's enough. Jesus. Always those nervous kids. Imagine pausing for a game because your coach needs to download a software which is only there for 10 minutes. I don't get it, really. But I was, to be very honest, I can very much identify with Victor. I was always that kind of child who used to play, you know those people who always play with a pen in their hand, for example, when they don't have anything? Yeah, that's me. "200 viewers in major final, dead game." Isn't that meme quite dead yet? I always thought that stopped at one point, like fidget spinners, you know? Didn't fidget spinners simultaneously die with the major final joke? I think that would have been a thing once in a while. I mean, this major final joke is... it needs to stop, alright? I think but they made a new meme at the minor. I think it was... stop saying lol and everything. It was... let me just think. Yeah, the meme was stop saying lol during the major. This is a very serious game and all of you are just kids. Something like that, I think it was. You gotta love Twitch, man. You know, YouTube has a great quality in streaming. You can always, you know, replay something if you didn't watch it properly and don't have to go into VODs. But Twitch is what it is, just because of this chat, you know? Just because of people like you. People like Quinn, Kristen, Ich Hartz 4. You know, those are the people who make the special. So, I hope all of you now feel special. You don't feel... okay, that's very unfortunate. I'm trying to make you feel special, you know? Having a good Friday and everything, but you just come at me like... what am I supposed to do? This reminds me of a story that I was yesterday driving a cab in a very popular big capital, Berlin, and The cab driver said, "You know, guys, everyone in Berlin always honking with their cars." I said, "Yeah, I don't understand it." And then the guy started honking 5 times a minute. Never go to big cities. I mean, I like big cities, but I don't know where you guys live. That would be... Yeah, no, it's always the same argument. This caster is young, but it's just my voice, I guess, and my face. I often get that Tom Holland meme thing. Thankfully, I can go for the on-pause because the coach needs to download some software. Please don't ask me what it was. But it seems like it has been resolved, and therefore... we're starting up with round number 6, as Windigo found themselves successful in the previous, now on the edge of bankruptcy in case they're losing this. As we see Elements Pro Gaming they're right now trying to set themselves up a little bit more towards the A site. Because as we see, it's a very usual kind of thing to always have like a player, especially when you have such pistols, or more likely that kind of buy, to wait it out for the moment for an aggression of Windigo. But you see, this is where patience is right now so necessary. About Ship somehow finds himself a line whilst being on just 20 HP, but Travel wants to play the secret agent. Did Bubble just flash himself? He did. And that's logically a very unfortunate ending there for Punisher, as well as Victor. Need to figure out a way to retake this, because otherwise the follow-up round will end quite badly for the team in regards of the economy. Travel finds Punisher, and we saw instantly how Victor, from an aggressive movement, went into retreat, getting away, saving that M4, and Windigo. Just a few mistakes here and there, and I mean, losing against that EPG lineup is a bit of a surprise. I remember there were some rumors going around that this team would disband in case they wouldn't have qualified for EPL. Those are rumors, so don't quote me. But on the other hand, it's not nice to have, to be very honest. With Elements getting themselves that third round, logically, very problematic situation right now for Windigo, because we see that mixed buy is very uncomfortable. The only one carrying around, excuse me, one of the two guys carrying around those M4s is now being aggressed, and the logical consequence at that point in time for a line would be, okay, he's not coming at me anymore. Instead, Ship's considered to take that aggression, now rather retreats, and seems like he's interested in the duel of any player coming there from Palace. Can logically backfire massively, and the worst about all of this, we see the player stacking towards the B site. 100% reasoning I don't get yet, to be very honest. Seems like they'd rather stack that one, but they'll leave Ship, they're leaving Ships alone, whilst he's the one with just 16 points of health. Not much more than 16, and Malik... oh no, the timing there. Ships makes it work onto one, and Malik comes in a little late. That could have been way much more than that, but... fortifying the B site so heavily was a nice idea. Didn't make it work. Victor finds himself, though, Malik, and now the aggression wants to come in, and Victor jumps away. Second flash, and Voidex is not daring. The Lion, as well as Hooch, now trying their best. It still could work out Victor is definitely not liking this. He's somehow taken out Hooch. And that's a single op now doing the job. They have to kid onto Victor, which means it's going to be a tricky one now for Lion. He has to push through, or he has to do something about it. He could just defuse, and now Blocker needs to check that his teammate doesn't get killed. It's one body shot, and then it makes it work. Doesn't even matter. The Lions somehow cannot prevail in that round, while it was Elements Pro Gaming looking so goddamn good. I am honestly surprised. But to give you a little bit of an insight, I mean, on paper, this map is working out for Windigo. They're 10 percentage points better on the CT side. It doesn't look brilliant right now. You could say it's an astonishing performance of the Bulgarian team. But maybe they just get themselves set in the right direction from now on to consistently show dominance during this first half. Something you have to really grant EPG at that point is that a roster that consistently changes. I mean, there's the core of a Lion as well as Hooch working together. We don't know too much about the inner workings of that team, but in general, you could say changing players consistently doesn't really show that you are a team that always plays the same kind of way and can, well, really develop. Either way, Victor's on his own, and therefore he's gonna have one hell of a hard time, whilst Chips is a little bit busy with one of the players. Victor is gonna find himself one. Punisher is there to assist, and now only one more to get. The bomb is in the hands of a Bulgarian, but also now taken out. Hooch has found him. Now Bubble on his own somehow needs to get himself that IGL of EPG. No chance for Hooch. He's taken out. There it is, time to now only get himself a Malik. 60 HP onto Ships. Should make it possible. Single body shot, and he sprays him away. That's the 5-3. Elements Pro Gaming having a little bit of a struggle with the economy. To bring the entire esports industry on a new level, we need an esports World Cup. That's interesting. I 100% agree with that. Because you have to see, most of the teams, I mean, the national team is just something different. I think we mostly don't rely on that because while we have, for example, in football, European leagues and such, in Counter-Strike, we play on a very international level. Basically, we always play Champions League, to say it like that, or a World Cup. I mean, take a look at every single offline event by the ESL. It's always been basically a World Cup. So, I don't agree with that. Hooch's forehead doesn't really agree with 762 in the head. Travel. Spraying a few bullets into the head of Punisher, making a bit of damage. And that bit of damage, I mean, it could work out. And Lion brutally ripped off the head of Blocker. And suddenly it's only a single guy, one of the core lads left here of EPG. To now make a change to this kind of play, because Windigo might be just going into the right direction from now on. Ship's gonna go past, tries to tap away Lion. He finds him though. Oh, that Deagle and that guy, just too lovely to have. And finally, yeah, it took a while. Only 2 players survive, and that's not really the best rate for Windigo. Because you have to consider that this team is so much better on the CT side, right? And you don't want to be the team that doesn't look so brilliant whilst being on your strong sides. And with EPG now getting into that buy, it's the perfect moment to shut down the running system from Hooch and Co. Their economy will not look like the greatest piece. I mean, you get $2,900, but in general, not much really they can offer from that. Maybe a few pistols and then for some aggression, but Windigo, they should have now finally understood how it is to be playing against that CIS mixture. Victor is very ballsy with that play, and he asks. He doesn't want to push. If he does, please get yourself a support flash from Blocker. Please don't go alone. Where's the support flash? There it is. It works onto one. But not much longer it does. And Ship's pinned down, trying to survive. He somehow magically does. And that ace execution, it might just work with those two players right now on the side, and the assistants arriving here from Travel. But Windigo, they got a good bunch of time, and the smokes will start to fade at that point where Punisher now is being assisted by Blocker. There's a line swinging wide and a line losing his head, whilst Travel should have no more chance figuring a way at this. He doesn't. Windigo maybe just finally found their way back into this game, and not only back, but really on the top of it. Because a thing that needs to be said, this map is decided by EPG, and you would do yourself a major favor by getting control on the opponent's map pick. Oh, painful, another painful, gets himself the double. Oh, the assistance is already there. It's too early. It's too easy. And it seems like it's too nice to work out. EPG logically barely having anything right now with themselves. Need to try the best they can do, but it's a hard knock life for us. And that hard knock life, it will be ended from Malik by Blocker. Windigo picking up themselves that first bit, that first half right there, and that's extremely beneficial to the team. And it's time for Elements Pro Gaming to really get themselves back into this, because otherwise it might be Windigo running away quite easily. Two flashed players, Blocker though reacting, Voidex is in the right fight at that point in time, and suddenly turns out to be a 4 versus 2, and that in favor of the team that's down right now. Punisher needs to show a little bit of awareness that possibly there might be a Malik around. Punisher is now aware and needs to get himself out of the flames that might come at him. That's the case. Victor's able to clean a lot of room. Travel open up his eyes a little better than him. And that's gonna be Elements Pro Gaming being the team to take that round number 12. It shouldn't have been the case, really. And there we got ourselves something which should basically have really been the case. But now, it's still the option there for Windigo to, you know, not be entirely shut down. And that would be quite relevant if you want to deliver a strong CT site right here. Windigo quite able to do so. Voidex now exposed himself without dealing any damage. At the same time as the Molotov pops, Voidex blown in pieces out of the server for the moment, and therefore Windigo can work with that advantage as another one falls, and EPG are crumbling and falling apart at that point in time. So Lion could do the change, he doesn't, only a single Travel. And the Ships is hungry for that op. Travel's picking it up and he's like, I'm not giving you that gun for free. Blocker doesn't even matter. 94, it's gonna be. And that buy once more is not really satisfying. And I mean, this map in general, I love. I really, really love Mirage. Because it is a little bit of a more difficult version of all those extremely puggy maps. It's not too easy. You have to understand the map. First of all, it's Victor understanding the situation perfectly fine. Getting himself quite easy free triple secured. And a single deagle that now needs to show us Malik is the best in the Wild West. Squeeze the trigger 5 times on the right body part. And you're good to go. He's gonna make those moves. Mud bubble. Having a little bit of better technology right here. Gets the headshot, deals so much damage, and therefore double digits have been achieved. I hate playing Mirage because I'm always playing with 12-year-old Russian kids speaking only Russian and they go where they want. I recommend you to try any service like Faceit or ESCA or Challenge Me. Because there, you're going to have a fun time. You can play with your friends. Also, you play in local hubs, right? I, for example, play in the German Pro League. In the 3rd division, so not that great, don't get me wrong. But either way, Ship's finding himself the first here onto Malik. Executing the player coming out of main whilst the flashbang flying over like a comet and doing it all right. Assistance is there, bubbles, accuracy needs to be 100% on. Why so does jumps left, right, and center. And Punisher, he didn't expect that fast kind of setup. Victor is the only man to now turn it around in favor of Windigo. 3 players, all 100 HP. And who's going to be like, we're doing it the super, super safe way. And that super, super safe way is allowing travel to deny a few paths. One of them is just Victor coming in 10-5. And Windigo would benefit from that piss round massively. Sure, it would be Elements Pro Gaming. Why is that music on? Hello? Wolf. Hold on 1 second, okay? Okay, I never turned this music back on again. It's even turned off. I'm gonna show you this. How does music come? Where does it come? 0, 0, 0. Where does music come from? Where? Where is it? Where is it? Why is there even an empty field? Why can't I I love you, Wolf. I really do. How to play? No, I don't read this. Sorry. Why is the music on? I never asked for any of this. It's really driving me crazy. Because every time I watch this video, or sorry, every time I hear this, it always reminds me of that one intro. You know that intro where they have done the behind-the-scenes trailer and you see the entire orchestra playing this music? Actually, well done. Why don't I use Panorama UI? I explained to you. A few services don't allow to play, don't allow you to use Panorama UI. For example, when you are a coach at ESCA servers, as far as I know, I'm not quite sure if it's only ESCA, don't let me blame them, you can watch the opponent's map or something like that. I'm not quite sure what it was, but there were a few certain bugs that made it impossible to use Panorama UI in competitive play. And the music starts again? Now. No? I pranked myself. Either way, finally we're getting to the second half after a bit of a beautiful orchestra insertion. Flown onto Mirage, directly playing 50 men and women. Windigo, that round would be extremely relevant right now for the team to stay alive on here on Mirage. It's their own map pick, so it's time to show that dominance. Malik's hiding himself, he's taken out. Hooch standing in the smoke is having a little bit of a hard time, whilst the Lion just might himself find a little bit more than that. Taps away too. The blocker's accuracy is just there when you need it, and therefore it's going to be just Voidex trying to take out free Bulgarians. And those free Bulgarians, yeah, they're coming at you. Tapping him just away. There it is, exactly what you need. Get yourself an easy victory. But you know, 11-5. It's a little too early to call this a GG, if you ask me. 11-5 sounds good, but the possibility to come back, I mean, it's already existent in that round. Victor. Gonna try himself with the first Lion. You are just crazy with such shots. 50 cal into the head of ships, and therefore it's Windigo living with a man disadvantage. But Victor, he's not even gonna have a hard time, whilst Malik though now comes with a few shots back. Bubble. No, it's hard time. Those duels are not really looking dominant in the way of Windigo, though they're having the weaponry advantage at that point in time. And so Bubble is going to be taken out as well. It's tricky. It is hella tricky right now, but AK onto Voidex, a Lion could possibly pick up a similar gun somewhere around the map, gets himself a Galil. Oh, hold on. Okay, I thought for a second that shoe looked like an AK, but I was horribly wrong. Regarding that voice thing, I mean, we have a little bit of time to talk about it. You know, I see casting, it sounds maybe arrogant or maybe way too sophisticated, but I see it a little bit as art. You know, nobody likes everyone's art, right? Not everyone is a fan of the same artist. So, not liking someone's casting is 100% fine. They're just two differences. I dislike the voice, I dislike the style, and this guy has no mechanical kind of idea how casting works. So, I love all your feedback. I love all the special people. It's probably the best word for Twitch. In a good way, of course. Don't get me wrong. But right now, it's time to see if Windigo can take that home as fast as they'd like to. Therefore, one shot, two shot. It's too easy. It's just too easy there. Logically, not a hard time you have when you just play against those USPSs, but it's Windigo not much more away from actually success here on the map of the opponents. Matters so much right now for Lion and Co. Finally pick up this round. Basic Counter-Strike 101. If you lose this one, pretty much broke again. Windigo's gonna pick up the number 14 at that point. And now it starts to crumble. Voidex and Co. They're rotating there in time. Players are now arriving on the A site. And the fortification, it might just be exactly what EPG needs. Another flashbang popping in. That bomb goes down. Ships. He has the idea and he catches Hooch off guard. He just probably feels betrayed after having such a long path and then doing such a mistake. The only thing I'm asking myself right here is why does Ships take the way over onto B? They really gamble right here, Windigo, because what if could have happened, of course, is EPG deciding, okay, we're fortifying and we're forcing ourselves onto the A site, and ships could have been quite worthless at that point, which would have been extremely, extremely brutal. As we have ourselves at 14-5. It's gonna be Elements Pro Gaming getting everything they can in that round. They need to take it, otherwise Windigo might be just running away with this, and not quite easily. Malik has different approach ships. He's looking in the air somehow. That doesn't change that aggressive setup. They're right now they're on the side of A. Free versus free. They're back at it. The Molotov's landing in front of the feet of Hooch, who's just daring to come out. Passes by. He doesn't hit the shots there onto a Punisher who wasn't really expecting what just happened. And if you're a fan of Elements Pro Gaming, it's time to start them prayers, because it does not look decent 1 single second right now for the CTs of EPG. The funny story of it is, Windigo is not even better here on the T sites. Significantly stronger team back when it comes to terrorists. The CTs, they're benefiting from this. I mean, they get themselves 3.5, 3.8. You can make it work with that, but Windigo or Windigo when you finish it off. Nothing would be better than getting that one easy in your pocket, switch over to your own map. And as Lion gets himself victor, at least partially Matt equalized there, it's still him dying in the process. Moinek switching over back to the A site. And this time, you see the repositioning Windigo did in this. Expecting it all to be a little different, trying to do it all a little bit different after mostly picking up the pace and then going on to the A side. The problem of all of this though, 10, 14, 11. And that kind of HP situation might make it easy for you. Voidex, oh no, he comes for that flashbang. He finds himself a bubble, gets himself a blocker as well. 100 versus 10. Try to make that one work. And Hooch, the right call for him possibly would be, I don't see anyone coming A. I don't hear the sound of the C4. I might be switching over to the side of B. In that point in time, the gamble starts. Ships might be the man here in the casino. You can make that jump over on the A sides. Plant it favorable for you. The kind of problem with this, he announced himself quite publicly. Hooch taking the approach now over short. The question is, where will they meet? He just stands in front of the smoke. Hooch will probably see him before time. And that was a bit of an odd play. You get yourself the bomb right here. You have 10 HP. Let me write that down. 10 HP. Why don't play it safe? Especially, I mean, this part was smoked. And you're just running for the smoke. I mean, kind of was like really faking that through and to give the opponent the wrong idea of what's happening, but on the other hand, maybe it was a little bit too risky for finishing this off. And that's right now the point. Windigo just could crumble, technically speaking. They could. With Hooch taking that aggression once more, Ships should be aware from what his teammate gave him as information early, but Hooch is right. Not taking that. Duels aren't working right now for me. Probably the best approach to stay back on side. So we're at the better position. And there it comes. Aggression. Welcome to the side of A. It might be 2 from underpass. And it went after surprise moment. Hooch is going to be taken out. One player already less. A side still not attacked. 45 more seconds to finally make that work. And Malik wants to hit that surprise timing while he is somehow being shot. Just from that AWP. Void X down to 5. Travel to 100. And Windigo should have the control right now of round number 22. They do. Blocker and Victor finish it off. And therefore, we're going on to our second map in just a second. That will be Overpass. Something you could kind of call home soil of Windigo. I'm very excited to logically welcome you there as well. We'll just be right back. This is the StarSeries iLeague Season 5, Season 6. Not 5, Season 6. I will say it a few times. And we'll just be right back. We're taking a little break, and then we welcome you between Windigo and EPG.
Place your bets at gg.bet. Most popular esports titles. Deposit with convenient payment options. Cool mini games. And 24/7 support for players. Sign up now for the best esports bets at gg.bet.